Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel, and in today's video we are going to be looking at how to install PostgreSQL on our Linux machine. We need to mention that PostgreSQL is a powerful and open source relational database management system, and it's known for its flexibility, reliability, and robust features. We wouldn't forget that there exist other database engines, and for this case, relational databases. So in the list, we have Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle Database, SQLite, and MariaDB, just to name a few of them. Then if we look at the other end of NoSQL databases, we have an example of MongoDB, and the list is endless. So let's dive in and see how to set up PostgreSQL on our Linux machine. So the first thing will be to update our package repository on our machine. So launch your terminal. I have my terminal here, and let's run these commands. So we have sudo apt update, then press on enter and give it time to complete. Alright, you may get some errors or some warnings. If the package list has not been updated, you can check for the exact error and probably browse alongside that particular error. So let's proceed. So the next thing will be to install Postgres and related dependencies. So what we have here, we need to run sudo apt install PostgreSQL. We also need to install PostgreSQL contrib. Once you have that, press on enter. Wow, great. So within some 20 seconds, we have PostgreSQL installed on our Linux machine. So the next thing will be to start the PostgreSQL service. So we do that by having sudo systemctl start PostgreSQL. Once you have that, press on enter, and the next thing, we need to enable it so that every time our machine boots, the service can be started. So the way to do that, we have sudo systemctl enable PostgreSQL. Once you have that, press on enter. So this will enable PostgreSQL to be started whenever you restart or switch on your machine. So so far so good. We have already installed Postgres and started the service. Maybe we could check on the status of the service. So we do that by doing sudo systemctl status PostgreSQL, then press on enter. So here we see that the service is active. So should you see something like inactive, you need to rerun this command so that you can have the service up and running. So the next thing will be to log in into the database and probably create a database, create a user, so that at least we can have a running database. So the way to do that, we have sudo, then we have fni, then fnu, then postgres. So this Postgres, this is the default user that is installed alongside PostgreSQL. This will enable us create, rather access the service, create a database and a user, and from that point we will be able now to log in into that particular database and user and proceed with other database queries. So once we have that, just press on enter. Then the next thing we need to do at this stage is run PSQL, and there we go. So with now the current command line interface, whatever commands that we will be running in this section we need to be those of need to meet the SQL standard queries. So at this point we can be able to create a database, query the existing database and all that. So let us create a database. So command to do that is create database. Then we can give the database name. So let me just name it as my database. Once you do that, you ensure to have a semicolon at the head. Then press on enter. Right, that database already exists, so we can create a new one. Create database. Then we can call it PostgreSQL DB. Then semicolon, press enter. Right, so the next thing, since we have created a database, we also need to create a database user who will be given privileges on this database. So the way to do that, we create user. The username is PostgreSQL user with password. So whatever I'm writing in uppercase, these are the SQL based keywords, but whichever way you can decide them, you can decide to write them in lowercase and they will still work the same way. So the purpose of having them in uppercase is to distinguish them from the regular keywords. So let's continue. Identified with password. Let's have quotation, user pass. Alright, then we end with a semicolon. Alright, so we created a new user. And the next stage will be to give privileges to the user, or rather grant some privileges to this user so that they can be able to learn the different queries on this database. So the way to do that, we need to grant all privileges on database. Remember we created a database called PostgreSQL DB to user. Then here we need to mention the name of the user, and the name of the user is post. I think we made a mistake. Instead of having PostgreSQL, we wrote some other funny characters, but let's still use that for user. So let's paste selection. So this command is meant to grant this user, the user that we created here, all the privileges on this database. So once we have that, ensure to add a semicolon, then press on enter. Alright, we might have made an error. Grant all privileges on database. Right, so in this case we didn't have to mention to user this part, so let's remove that and press enter. So in that case, we have granted our user here the privileges to run the different SQL queries on these database. So the next thing will be to log in or to access this database using the user that we just created. So let us exit from this section. Let us exit. Alright, so the way to do it, we need to run one command that will enable us access the database that we just created here. It's also worth noting you may need to at least have a record of these details, the database name, the username, and the password, so that you can have an easy time reusing them in future. So what we need to have here, we have PSQL, then we have -h. This stands in for host. Then in this case, now that it's hosted on our local machine, we have the local IP. Then we have hyphen, capital U, then the name of the user. So we named our user, let me just copy and paste this. Let's paste that, paste selection. Then we need to access the database, so we have -d, then the name of the database. Alright, so this is what we have. So we are basically accessing our database remotely. So even if it was a database hosted on a server somewhere, you need to have these either the hosting IP or the host name of that server. Then this is the user, the database user that you created for your database, and now the name of your database. So once you do that, press on enter. So you ask for the password. So the password is whatever you set here. So we have user pass. Also note that when typing in the password, the characters do not show. It's for you to just type. Once you are done with the password, press on enter, and there we go. We have been able to access now the interface of our database. So in this section, you can now run the different database queries. So once you are able to access this dashboard, you can now proceed and create a database table, add data, and all other operations that you can undertake with a database. So that marks the end of this tutorial. In case you have a question or a comment, please add it into the comment section below. We have also included a link to the blog site where you can fetch these commands. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.